For centuries before Rome became the centre of a great empire, it was only a collection of small settlements founded on 7 hills. These were above the river Tiber in the land we now know as Italy. Their lofty vantage points acted as a defensive standpoint from invaders, as well as protecting its inhabitants from malaria and other diseases, thriving on the marshy valley floor. The fertility of their fields and crops was synonymous with survival, and it doesn't take much imagination for us to understand why a goddess of love and allusions to everything associated with the act of procreation were given prominence in the Romans' art forms and life. The Roman gods of the community included Jupiter, Mars, Vesta, Janus, Venus, Apollo, and Diana, and others, all of whom were concerned with the welfare of the state. This was best expressed by the word religio, which meant a feeling of respect and awe towards the sacred. The city of Rome finally came into being when the 7 hill towns all collaborated to become one. Collectively, they drained the valley floor and improved their future. They constructed the Cloaca Maxima, or the Great Roman Sewerage System, and they did this 6 centuries before the Christ event. They also drained the area of low ground southeast of the capital between the Palatine and Equiline hills. This meant that markets and other trading activities could take place on the reclaimed land. From 60 years before Christ to 49 years before Christ, a struggle for power played out against a backdrop of a ruling senate of very powerful men. The factions were all trying to gain control for their preferred leader. It came down to a choice of 3 prominent citizens who were all successful military leaders. Initially, they tried to govern together, but as in all such struggles, to single out the one preferred and resolve the issue, Gaius Julius Caesar began a civil war in the year 49 before the Christ event. He knew that if he won, he would become undisputed leader of the Roman world. Caesar came, he saw, and he conquered. After it was over, he set about bringing order from chaos, enacting extensive reforms and emboldening others. Julius Caesar played a crucial role in gradually transforming the Roman Republic into the Roman Empire. He extended its territories, crossing both the English Channel and the River Rhine in Germany. He also began extensive reforms of both its government and its society. The Senate, well pleased, gave him the title Dictator Perpetuo, or ruler for life. He then set about great public works, extending the Forum Romanum on the south side of the Palatine Hill, the site of Rome's earliest settlement. It was marked by freestanding commemorative arches on its east and west end. Caesar's heir and Rome's first Emperor Augustus ruled between 31 years before Christ and 14 years after the Christ event. This was when the city emerged as an economically successful place to be, with a population approaching 1 million. To become a free citizen of Rome was considered a great honour. Whoever you were, if you were born within the boundaries of the then Roman Empire, you had the right to hold this, the highest office in the state. Under Augustus, the concept of an eternal Rome emerged, revealing its link to its legendary past and its promise of a new era. In the account of his own accomplishments, Augustus placed side by side 2 concepts that were reflected in the design of Roman architecture: that of auctoritas, or inner weight, the authentic and the exemplary, and potestas, the powerful and the authoritative. A building with auctoritas had dignity, validity and authority. and the use of marble in buildings like temples led to evolving designs quite different from those of a previous age. In Augustan Rome, public models of propriety were a meaningful aspect of society and the life of the state. A statesman of consummate skill, Augustus legislated to mould the fabric of Roman society. Some saw his leadership as a return to a mythical golden age, one where there would be a place for everyone. This made it possible for each Roman citizen to devote himself to the creation of a better world by participating in public works on a grand scale. Augustus exercised tact and good sense to win people's cooperation. He set in place a pattern of procedures and processes for his successors to take forward, guiding by suggestion, not command, and he gave a lead when his advice was sought. Augustus empowered others by treating everyone equally with dignity and respect so that everyone's self-esteem remained intact. Today we would admire him as an ultimate professional. His systems, once established, were put in place in other towns throughout Italy and also other countries as Rome's influence spread and everyone became prosperous under centralized Roman rule. The most famous image we have of him is in his military aspect, and it was found in the remains of the house he lived in at Prima Porta with his strong-willed wife Livia. The sun represents the new day, which dawned for Rome when Augustus became its leader. This image set his personal style, for that of being a restorative figure above all else, and the statue is a great piece of propaganda. It dominated the space it stood in, and if you compare the feat to that of a sculpture of a Greek youth walking forward, you will see that the emperor remains still. The right foot supports him, a device that strengthens our perception of his coming to a halt, to command what lies before him, and that he will challenge all those who enter his arena. During the reign of Augustus as emperor, Rome became a precinct of power and glory. He regarded himself as the first among equals, respecting the rights of all citizens. Far from flawless, the systems he put in place presented his successors with a unique opportunity to preside over the longest period of unity, peace and prosperity that Western Europe, the Middle East and the North African seaboard had known in their entire recorded history. Today, very little is left, because when other migratory tribes overran the city centuries later, much of it was destroyed. When people finally came back to claim the city once again, the ancient columns and architectural elements were recycled to construct buildings for the new age.